A very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. I am happy to welcome you to the third episode of the webinar series titled Why Corporate Sector. This webinar is the 14th BSL webinar for 2025-2026. The Webinars and Legal Symposiums Committee has also organized a series of legal symposiums, and I am joining live from the first legal symposium for 2025-2026 held in Hikkadua. This webinar series is also organized by the Webinars and Legal Symposiums Committee of the BESL. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the chairman of the Webinars and Legal Symposiums Committee and the president of Bar Association of Sri Lanka, Mr. Rajiv Amarasuriya, whose brainchild the BSL webinar series is. The co-chairman, Mr. Chatur A. Galhena, secretary of BASL, and Mr. Pasindu Silva, treasurer of BASL, and the conveners, co-conveners, and the members of the Webinars and Legal Symposiums Committee of the BSL. I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Executive Committee of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka for all the support and guidance. In today's episode of Why Corporate Sector, we have with us an esteemed guest, Mr. Sanjeeva Anthony. Mr. Anthony is an attorney at law of the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka, Notary Public, Commissioner for Oaths, and a registered company secretary. He is also a fellow member of the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, FCMA UK, Chartered Global Management Accountant, CGMA, an associate member of the Institute of the Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, ACA, a fellow member of the Institute of Certified Management Accountants of Sri Lanka, FCMA, and a fellow member of Certified Professional Managers, FCPM. He commenced his career at the Prince Waterhouse Coopers prior to joining Jetwing Hotels Limited as the finance manager in 1996, and he is currently discharging his duties as the executive director. He is also serving on several directorates, including 3 publicly quoted companies. Mr. Anthony is also a life member of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. I warmly welcome Mr. Sanjeeva Anthony for today's session. Without any further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Shehara Herat, who will be the interviewer for today's session, to take over. Over to you, Shehara.
Thank you so much, Isuri. And once again, on behalf of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, the Executive Committee, and also all its members, I would like to welcome Mr. Sanjeev Anthony, who is the Executive Director of Jetwing Hotels. And Jetwing Hotels is not a new name for us Sri Lankans. It has been a very strong brand name of integrity in the field of hospitality in Sri Lanka for many decades. So in such a institution, to be the executive director and also an attorney at law, I think Mr. Sanjeev Anthony holds a wealth of experience, which he will now share with all of you and people who will watch this in the future on YouTube. Once again, a warm welcome to Mr. Sanjeev Anthony. I would firstly like to pose this question to you, sir. Now, of course, we all talk about the tourism industry in Sri Lanka, and there are so many, let's say, projections that the tourism industry in Sri Lanka will grow in the next few years. And people have been comparing the tourism industry of Sri Lanka with those of Maldives, Thailand, and Malaysia, so on and so forth. So, in a very open-ended question, what do you think will happen to the tourism industry in Sri Lanka during the next few years?
Yeah, thank you very much, Shara, for that question. First, let me thank Bar Association President and the Executive Committee and the Isru and Shahara, who was organizing and a lot of hard work putting. First, because I can remember earlier current president as secretary who started this webinar series has started the connectivity. Basically, corporate lawyers, corporate counsels were a little distant from the total practicing lawyers from the Bar Association. So I should first thank for him to bringing that bridge together. And now we can see we are more or less connected with the bar practicing lawyers, with the corporate counsels and corporate lawyers. It is very important for the economy going forward. So let me once again, he started these so many years ago. He has again now started with strength to strength. So I congratulate him for doing, and it's a great initiative he himself has started by Rajiv. Okay, coming to your question, Shehara, Now, Sri Lanka, we all know that we have gone through a serious economic crisis. Tourism is, in other than that, foreign jobs, which we can bring our required dollars. So one thing is we can print rupees, but we can't print dollars. So we have to bring dollars to balance our all the required imports. So tourism is one of the main initiatives, and also easily we can bring tourists to Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka is a lovely country. We are surrounded with, from you name it, we have it. We don't have to go to different areas. But in a small time of traveling, we can access to so many resources. So I think, to your question, already we have achieved about over 1.2 million tourists have come till yesterday, and we have earned close to 1.8 billion US dollars up to now, and much required. Another about, we are targeting another $2 billion to be earned in next 6 months, 4-5 months till December, and we are coming to the season again. July, August, lot of connectivity has started despite to Middle East unrest, despite to tariffs. Now even garment industry, we are struggling with the tariffs who has just come to Sri Lanka. We are competing. So tourism is one area, lot of potential is coming, lot of opportunities are available. And so tourism will be the future of Sri Lanka as far as we are concerned.
Thank you, sir. And now you're an attorney at law by profession, and now you're also the executive director of Jet King Hotels. Could you also explain to me what is, what connects these two ideas of being an executive director of a hotel chain and also having an attorney at law qualification?
I think one of the, now I joined tourism industry about almost close to 30 years ago. So at that time, my friends were asking, are you mad going to tourism industry like tourism? So then I told, no, it's a lovely industry. Of course, it's a coincidence where my father is a criminal lawyer practicing, who practiced over 55 years in the bar. So my original intention was to become a criminal practicing lawyer. And by coincidence, there was one of my friend which called me and told there is a vacancy coming. I just went. And in addition to, they have almost finalized their recruitment. After our chairman, late Herbert Kure earlier, now our current chairman, Hiran Kure, who interviewed me with earlier, there's Romesh Lohuge, who was the executive director, who was my position. And as soon as they interviewed, I suppose the only additional qualification I had is, at that time I was doing attorney at law final exam I have done. So I think they have interviewed, shortlisted, and they told me to just wait outside. And I suppose at that time I should have been a distinctive advantage compared to my all other qualifications, which I had, all the other previous contenders and shortlisted people had. So this attorney at law qualification would have been reason for them to select, I presume. So coming back to that, I think after joining to hospitality industry, the company has realized the value of additional qualification of being attorney at law, because you make any decision in starting from those days, even up to now, there's a connection. You have to take all within the law of the country. So it is very much easy, even at the business, rather than you take a decision and you go back and see. So I think there's a, with the corporate sector as well as with our attorneys, also have a misconception that, it's very difficult to come to corporate law, that is business, nothing to do with law. Actually, all business is a combination of law, your returns, your investments, everything is connected, and we have to do everything in line with the law. So I think there's a distinctive advantage. While going, I will tell what are the, as executive director, what kind of contribution you can make. And also now I can see a lot of corporates are slowly identifying. You will also see that some of the public quoted companies boards, there are lawyers have been appointed, even the senior lawyers practicing lawyers, in addition to the junior counsels, are slowly coming to the boards very slowly. But other professions are very much stronger. So I think going forward, there's a very much potential to come to the main public quoted boards. Even senior attorneys at laws who are practicing at the moment, who doesn't have a conflict of interest with that company, who can join as a non-executive independent director. So in addition to I am being the executive director of a public quoted company, I am also non-executive director of another two public quoted companies. And also I was independent because they bought this 9 years rule. Because of that, I lost my independence. Now I go as a non-executive, because otherwise there's a huge potential in corporate boards where even senior lawyers who can join to the board to give the strategic view, because corporate lawyers are at corporate bodies are at the moment looking for this kind of skill at the boards, and there are basically very much good remuneration as well. They are paying from each board meeting. So actually, senior lawyers from each board meeting is starting from roughly, it's a rough figure, from each attendance. Normally, you get about from 50,000 to close to about 500,000 for sitting. So it is the range, because our lawyers are unaware of the potential, the benefit, and how much and also as a director of these public quoted companies, you can contribute, you can get some your experience, and that's
That actually brings me to the next question, sir. Do you see a lot of attorneys at law in the hospitality industry, in the hotel industry, and do you also see that there are many opportunities available for them?
attorneys at laws hospitality industry is very few at the moment, but I can see last 6 months to 1 year lot of interest creating. In fact, jetting our company alone, we also have got attorney at law to our company as well in last 1 year. So we also will get little bit more young lawyers for us to help. So what we realize is there's a lot of work which we sometimes due to non-lawyers, for example, including tax, excise, and customs. At the moment, there are legal matters are handled in the corporate sector by non-lawyers. So even tax is a very good example where accountants are handling, and excise. So when you go to negotiate with this, and even government officials, they just read the law and they try to implement. So we all know that lateral rule will apply on these statutory things like inland revenue and things like that, interpretations, but that alone is not enough. So when we go, there are so many positions we have taken in the company, even with the Department of Inland Revenue, which they have come and basically when we sent our accountants to negotiate, they couldn't. So finally at our company, I go to the negotiations with the commissioners, when I couldn't negotiate. Now we have cases where at the moment which we have disagreed, and these are millions of taxes we are talking, and it has gone to the commissioner level, commissioner general review, which we have lost. Then it has gone to the tax appeal commission, which we have lost. Now we have gone to the court of appeal, which we have won. And now the Inland Revenue has again appealed to the Supreme Court. So what I'm trying to say is these are not small money. These are a lot of money. If the accountants who are handling does not have that additional capability, if we don't have the legal background on these assessments, we wouldn't just agreed and paid. Because so therefore there's a massive potential for the lawyers to come to this field. And I get the feeling, I of course keep on educating the corporate sector as and when I get to different institutions, saying that the amount of investment you do to a lawyer is always beneficial, because the one thing is when you go to negotiate as an attorney at law at the Department of Inland Revenue, you have a respect. They don't come too much of that, whatever that is, that there's a respect in the corporate sector compared to other provisions when a lawyer comes. After that, they also know that if they don't, the lawyers are ready to take to courts, And so they are always in two different minds. Most of the time they're trying to settle. So in this, normally my cases all have been settled. This particular case, all the individuals are different. This particular assessor was adamant. So basically I had to take them to the courts, and at the Court of Appeal, it's a very clear case which we won. And now they have gone to Supreme Court. I am 100% sure we can defend it. So there's a massive opportunities arising in the tourism industry. They will for the young lawyers, Shahara, going forward.
Thank you, sir. And now you have been in the executive level of your company for quite some time. Now,
Yes.
what I would like to ask you, sir, is it better to have a lawyer in decision making and director board levels of companies and in the hospitality industry? And what advantages would a company get by having a lawyer in their director board or in the executive level?
There is a massive advantage being a lawyer in a main board, that
I mean,
we
for the
can.
company, sir. Like,
Yeah, main
why
board in
would
a
a
company.
company?
Yeah, your question is whether there's a advantage of a director level a lawyer being in the main board, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think there's a massive advantage for the company. First thing is, when you make decisions, and board decisions, we have board meetings basically 2-3 hours, and at the board meetings you take strategic decisions. And one important thing from legal point of view which I would like to bring is, we can't as lawyers work on these legal silo only. We have to work on the legal exceptions, because when you look at a normal lawyer and a good lawyer, difference is how are you going to use your exceptions. If you have everybody knows that within this law, you can't go to a board and say that you can't do this law doesn't prohibit, you can't say that this law is prohibit. You can't have a negative mindset in a corporate board. It's a strategic board we are talking. So it is absolutely important from young lawyers, even lawyers who are coming to the corporate sector, to have a open mindset. So you take decisions within the law, but you use your exceptions and all to thrive the business. So some lawyers who come to I also have seen even these we outside counsels and outside lawyers, when you come to the business community, you can't work only with the strict law of the country alone. Definitely you are within the framework of the law, but you have to find methods to work through that law. So that is where I think sometimes lawyers lag behind in the boards, which they can't. But there are very good lawyers who come and give strategic view to the board and give the future potential. Basically, they will know all the laws on the ground, but that is not the case. You have to, in a company, you have to take certain decisions. So we basically, when we take a decision, we don't have the word no. We only have word yes, but legal framework. There are few exceptions. We take position saying that no, you can't, because board other members are not aware. And also it is the responsibility of that particular director who is representing with the law background to tell the consequences of that director. When you becoming a director of a company, as the company's latest Companies Act, we have a lot of responsibilities, and you can't say that you don't know the law of the country. So therefore, it is again a mutual benefit for the other directors who are non-lawyers to say that if you do this, these are consequences. And when they identified that it is the personal responsibility of the lawyers of the board, if they decide, they basically they tend to come into the law, within the law framework. So I think it is very much advantageous. Some of the corporates are not aware of the advantages of the being a lawyer, because they always refer to the go and come back. They have to change the decisions, because when they try to implement, they can't. That is the importance of that. And also our mindset, as I said earlier, has to be changed. Not only pure legal case, it's legal case we are looking, we always go for mutual understanding, not always only on the legal part. There are so many other parts in the business, because at the end of the day, we are not there to do only cases in a business. We are there to do business. So when lawyers also needs to understand that, I think we need to direct our young lawyers to change on that mindset, to be open-minded, but absolutely within the law. You don't take anything out of the law, but there are so many things you can do within the law framework in the boards.
Thank you, sir. And before I move on to your next question, sir, I would like to request the participants to post any question you have with regards to this discussion or hospitality law in general, or lawyers' opportunities in the hospitality or the corporate sector. You can post your questions in the Q&A section of this Zoom link. So when you post these questions at the end of the discussion today, I will forward them to Mr. Sanjeev Anthony for his response. So once again, all the participants are encouraged to post your questions in the Q&A section of this Zoom discussion. Now, moving on, sir. Now, in the hospitality industry today, I mean, I'm sure the hospitality industry has evolved over years. And today, the hospitality industry is a very complex industry with a lot of responsibilities, a lot of liabilities on the hand of the hospitality provider. What particular areas require legal expertise? Now, I would assume that certain there are now in the hospitality industry, there could be situations where the hospitality provider comes into agreements with other companies, service providers, and there would arise disputes between companies in the hospitality industry, sometimes between a Sri Lankan hospitality company and a foreign hospitality company. So, what new situations require legal expertise in the hospitality industry today?
There are a lot of, I think, when we have to deal with different jurisdictions, that is number one. For example, now when we take any hospitality industry, we are coming to enter into tour operator contracts. So when it comes to tour operator contracts, we are entering contracts with jurisdiction in UK, Germany, France, Australia, Middle East, USA, all kind of areas. So very difficult to, because we are getting customers from them, very difficult to negotiate with these people, because they have more of a monopoly. So what happens in the industry is a lot of companies, because they don't have the capability to negotiate, and also they don't have the knowledge, required expertise, they go and sign the contracts what they come up. They don't understand the consequences. For example, simple things like arbitration. Sometimes it is in UK and all kind of places which Sri Lankan company can't even think of doing initial negotiations even at that level, because we can't absorb that cost. So such a simple thing like from UK to change your arbitration to Singapore, which much more easier, much more closer, and also cost effective in an international contract, which they don't normally agree to our jurisdiction alone. So therefore, we can always we can suggest neutral jurisdictions like SIAC Arbitration Center and those kind of different neutral places. And that is what a lawyer can bring. So whenever there is a dispute, it's a huge cost we are talking. For example, we all know that Sri Lanka entered into hedging contract. In that arbitration clause, what kind of a cost Sri Lankan government have to absorb purely because of that arbitration clause. So if we had that arbitration clause, if somebody has looked at, the cost would have been much easier. Because of the cost alone, we couldn't sustain. So therefore, those are serious matters. Even though people they will think that they will get the business, and it is well and good. But always when you do long-term business, there can be one or two disputes. Actually, one or two serious dispute is enough to bankrupt a company in Sri Lanka. that kind of jurisdiction. So that is the benefit which I think the corporates also have not understood until they face into situations which they can't come out after that. I know there are companies, small companies in the last 20, 25 years who has to close down because of bankrupt, because of these money issues. You don't know until that particular clause, such a clause like arbitration clause can kill your whole company. So that is the benefit a lawyer can bring to that. Mainly, I think it is important that you have an in-house counsel in your hospitality industry, because when it go to outside the hospitality business, how you work is little different. And also there's a business pressure. So what happens is when you go to complete different who is not in the hospitality industry in the law, somebody will change the whole contract and say it is completely favorable to us. When we change that contract and send to the operator, they completely ignore and say we don't even touch. Either you do this or you will not do business with you. So as soon as they tell that, the companies will go ahead and sign whatever they ask. Might as well you do certain few amendments to those like arbitration, compensation and things. That is one. Second thing is, since you have asked for the liability, is a public liability is a serious matter in the hospital industry. There's a customer coming from overseas country to our properties, and if something happens to them, minor thing, there's a millions of dollars liabilities will arise to that particular property. So anything can happen without our control in our properties. So therefore, insurance is another important factor, and most of the companies, they sign insurance contracts, whatever insurance contract, what has been given by the insurance company. When the insurance company gives you a contract, they cover themselves much as possible. When you try to claim, you don't have anything, very little, very much less you have able to claim. So now as a policy in the hospitality industry is so complicated on public liability, that is one of the biggest risks we consume that the companies are facing at this point of time because of the foreign exposure, where Sri Lankan exposure, public liability going is at this point of time is low, but foreign countries is very much high. So in a public liability policy, one important thing is that our insurance companies will come and say that these areas are covered. When you say these areas are covered, that basically indirectly they are saying other areas are not covered. So exclusions are more and more when you say it is covered. So you have to be very careful when somebody says come and say you are covered. So when we negotiate our public liability insurance policies with international underwriters, what we are requesting is just tell us what are the exclusions. Basically, in the negotiations which we do in our company, is insurance policies are completely other way around. We say, tell us the exclusions only. Then we know this is not covered. We don't want what is covered. What is not excluded is covered. So basically, that kind of only few companies internationally are available. But in the hospitality industry, other than a competent lawyer who can understand these legal matters, consequences, can come up with this kind of a strategic value addition to the company. So it's a major value addition to the from the company, where when something happens, for example, when that tsunami happened in 2004, the question was whether it's tsunami word also we never knew. But one thing we knew, one thing is when it was there, the whole underwriters gave earthquake cover to Sri Lanka free of charge. Basically, when I negotiated in around 90s, early 2000, I met with foreign, then we didn't have the earthquake cover. When I negotiated, they told Sri Lanka will never get coming to earthquake because there's no danger for Sri Lanka. Because of that, they are, as a additional benefit, they are given to give free. Like that, they give free covers to us. Suddenly, after about 4-5 years, tsunami happened. It's a major disaster happened to one of our properties in Yala. So basically, the underlying cause was earthquake, tsunami. So therefore, full insurance was underwriters paid the full amount to us. So just I am saying that the benefit the lawyers can bring. So this one contract, one additional cover will decide whether your company goes or not. So actually I can go on like this, the benefits the lawyers can bring. And there are two sides. One thing is corporates also not unaware of the benefits including hospital industry a lawyer can bring to the table. And also lawyers themselves does not have that. Some lawyers are going mainly on practicing and they think only the court. So I know that court is the our main thing, like the doctors go to the hospital, but it does not mean there are so much of avenues, so much of benefits to the bring to the corporates, and a lot of opportunities. And basically a lot of steady income can be generated to the young lawyers who pass out from the law college.
Thank you, sir. And my next question brings us to the issue of dealing with the government. Now, if you take the hospitality industry about 50 years ago, I'm sure there were not as much regulations from the government pertaining to how the hospitality industry should work. But now I think more and more regulations are in place, particularly when it comes to the issue of the excise department, the customs department, and now more and more rules and regulations about what can be provided, what services can be provided, etc., are being introduced, and there would be more and more regulations in the future as well. So, do you also see this as an opportunity for lawyers to get involved in the hospitality industry, where the hospitality companies have to deal with the government, with excise department officials, with different the police, the and different departments of the government?
Yeah, that is more and more becoming more and more applicable to the lawyers to get involved with the hospitality industry. You start with the Department of Excise. I think Excise Department is one department. Regulations are sold, regulations are keep on changing, different regulations are being brought here and there. So it is, when we do a business, it's very important that you understand and you communicate, and also you direct them with what is the how the regulations has to be worked. So actually we have sometimes we have to communicate with them, we have to speak with them, we have to come to certain understanding with them with regard to handling excise license, how, what time, what level, how we can, what we can give to the customers, so on. When a tourist come to a hotel, they don't care about the what is the law in the country. They have paid and they want to enjoy themselves. So we have to make sure that within our law to support this all the customers who are coming. So it is at the moment hospitality industry. I am also the treasurer of the Tourist Hotel Association of Sri Lanka. So lot of hotels are referring me on these issues. So one thing more and more I come across is I have day-to-day lot of issues, day-to-day issues. They don't have the legal knowledge. So basically, not lawyers are not the law. There are no lawyers who are handling with these departments. They basically go there and do all kind of negotiations, and they just go and agree with them with the excise department without knowing the exact law. So I think there's a huge potential for the Department of Excise is one. Then inland revenue I just mentioned earlier. Then customs also another area. In fact, recently the tourism industry is open with importing before these restrictions were released. Tourism industry is the first industry where government allowed to bring tourist vehicles to Sri Lanka, and we had a lot of legal interpretations on that. So basically, from on behalf of tourism industry, I have to personally get involved from the presidential secretariat to the director general of finance and also the director general of customs. At the end, final solution was brought after explaining the legal positions and the cabinet papers which has been given to the director general of customs. And after that final discussion, we were able to get about close to 40-50 vehicles which were 2-3 months lying in the port out because of this misunderstanding of the law. So I think that is the potential. So that incident alone I suppose, would have been given all the industry stakeholders then the importance of legal brains coming into the thing. Otherwise, we would have been still paying demurrage and vehicles would have been still in the port. So demurrage charges are coming to about few millions rupees for per vehicle. So that purely because of, again, lack of understanding, lack of interpretation. So I think the going forward, stakeholders, also big companies, small companies, they will come to understand this dealing with these institutions. There's a massive benefit you can bring with in-house lawyer. From lawyer to actually you can develop these lawyers, also the corporate counsels doing different aspects. Now, another area which tourism industry is facing at the moment is with all the Praja Sabha taxes and urban council taxes, municipal council taxes, and all those. There's some dispute in the law. Law is not clear. So therefore, we have about in the industry close to 1,000 cases in whole Sri Lanka in magistrate courts lying. So basically, if you have an in-house lawyer who can handle these, there's a major benefit for the company to retain on your own counsel. And same issue comes up on all over Sri Lanka when you have throughout. So basically, thousands of cases we are handling at the moment, and one by one courts are clearing on that. That's again because of they are asking different taxes which is not applicable to the tourism industry, and because of their commissioners wants to collect money, they are asking, then we have to go to courts and stop. Otherwise, you have to pay millions of rupees of those. And also, I also know that since I am in the Tourism Hotel Association as a treasurer, there are companies who has got scared and gone and paid to these municipal councils this money without taking legal opinion. When they speak to me, I told, okay, what you have done is finished. In future, don't even touch. So that is the cost these companies are so have to pay because of not having an in-house counsel in that.
And so now you spoke on a few instances before about an in-house counsel. Now, do you see a lot of hotel chains in Sri Lanka having their own in-house counsel, and what is the role of an in-house counsel in a hotel?
There is a massive role available for in-house counsel. There are in-house counsels in tourism industry in different companies, but it's not a lot of public quoted companies in the hotel industry. There are in-house counsels, and also there are private companies whom where there are in-house counsels. Even there are a lot of friends I have who are in-house counsels, but there are a lot of big companies who does not have in-house counsels, and they don't know the value of in-house counsel. In-house counsel, as I said, starting from excise to the customs to the inland revenue to the all those things are additional things. Even your labor matters, all these employment law matters, all those things, there is a potential in-house counsel. So in fact, our JetWing, we recruited the in-house counsel recently for our HR department. So basically the potential is opening. Hotels are doing well, we are doing well, we also can open up ourselves now. So other companies also, I can see slowly in-house counsels are recruiting. And also in addition to that, you also can now company secretarial work, also a lot of responsibility coming to the company secretary. And I think there are company secretaries who are handling at the moment non-lawyers. Basically, you can become a company, you as an accountant, you can, so I am also accountant, but I know my knowledge being a chartered accountant or a chartered management accountant, I know my knowledge on the company secretarial work, and as attorney at law, how much I can bring. It is completely different. Some because I did chartered or because I did SIMA, I can't handle these company secretarial work, the responsibilities there at the moment. So I think at the moment, a lot of non-lawyers who are handling these work. And also same with as I mentioned, particularly tax area. Again, non-lawyers are handling these. Now, we as chartered accountants and chartered management accountants, we have learned the tax law, but when it comes to lateral interpretations and how it's going to, you can't challenge. Only computations you can do. So I think there's a big value the lawyers, and also from lawyers' point of view, they also have to be open themselves more. They have to also go practical aspects of the law, not only the exact legal points of the law. You have to have the ability to negotiate. You have to have the give confidence to the company that you can negotiate with these ones, and also you have to take certain risks. So for in our company, the certain cases, I go to the board and say, board, you have two options. Either you pay millions of taxes, what they, or otherwise I will give the approval for us to handle this case, which board has to approve. We have to go up to the Supreme Court, because I know that when it starts, it will not end up with there. So it might take about at least 10 years for me to sort it out, but this much. That is where one case I told earlier that we are in the Supreme Court. Now it's about 8 years we are in the Supreme Court, but we are talking about serious value of taxes. So I think in-house counsels will have a lot of opportunities on adding. In addition, again, one area which including corporates and owners in the SME area are missing. I am not talking about the big brands, small brands, which a lot of people has referred to me because they are asking for certain guidelines on trademark registrations, intellectual property. I think complete lack of knowledge. They have worked their hotel, their business for so long, they have not registered. Somebody knew that they are not registered. They have gone and registered the trademark, and after that they are coming and asking how to sort it out. So these are huge business of it. Just imagine SME brand in a remote area, which foreign tour operator and all knew this particular brand, and somebody else goes and register on that. Purely lack of knowledge. Only a lawyer can do. But when I asked, this has been handled by, again, non-lawyer, mainly accountants, who goes and touch these areas which is not coming under their scope, but they try to do everything and anything what is coming. Even a trademark registration, you have to register as a name and as a label. You have two registrations has to be gone. Now, that knowledge that accountant will not have. He will go and have register as a name, and when somebody goes and do as a label in the trademark under the registration is another issue, another dispute. I'm not saying that you can't defend. It's a matter of lot of time wasted on lack of legal knowledge. So lot of SMEs, big companies, they retain their counsel, in-house counsels, they are looking after their brands and all, but small SMEs sometimes to do the justice, I try my best to help them to the possible way. Sometimes little too late, because and people who has registered are demanding certain money, funds from these people to change. That is their whole objective of this particular brand. So I think so much of legal benefits can be brought to the company of the tourism industry by the council. And tourism industry is a lovely industry. Of course, you should have patience. Suddenly you will see tourism industry is going down. You must not go down. In my close to 30 years in career, tsunamis came, wars came, Aragalias came, COVID came, all kind of things coming. So tourism will absolutely go down, but it will come fast. Now tourism has come very well, and tourism is doing very well at the moment. Sri Lanka is going to depend on tourism for the next several years, and so we are getting tourists, we are getting income, business are expanding, and there are a lot of opportunities arising on tourism. Another one important thing is, when you are working in tourism industry, there's a little different. For example, when you are working in not the corporate office, if you are working at the hotel, all the employees who are working get a 10% service charge. For example, so that if you earn any money, for example, total revenue of that particular month, 10% of that is distributed to all the employees. This distribution amount is ranging from roughly from 25,000 to good years about 100,000, 120,000 for a month. So in addition to your salary, you get a service charge as well. So therefore, it is a reasonable return for any lawyer who is joining to the industry. You get your service charge, you get your meals, you get your accommodation, all those things if you work on that. So and also especially you are coming from remote areas, you can join to those remote in your own village in a property and work with the industry. So I think there are a lot of hidden opportunities which lawyers and counsels are not there. When they come and meet with me, I direct these children, students, law students to those areas to get some benefits. Some people have, in fact, started their careers with certain remote areas. You start with Norelia, you start with Jaffna, you start with Anuradhapura, Polonnaru, Potuvil. I'm talking remote areas where our lawyers, where there are opportunities for lawyers very much in Colombo, Gampaha, Kandy, that main cities. I'm talking about the lawyers who are getting qualified in remote areas, whom they have to come to all the way to Colombo. It's very difficult to start their career. Also, they can easily get joined because uh, tourism is all over the Sri Lanka. Potuvil, Arugambe, Vellava, Ella, you name it, you have it. So if you get involved with those areas, lot of lawyers and law students who are in throughout the area can be connected with these companies, and they can start slowly the, their career through that and get the experience.
Certainly, sir. And if a young lawyer or a law student who is listening to this webinar today is interested in joining the hospitality industry or the or a corporate who is involved in the hospitality industry, what qualifications do you suggest that they follow in addition to their qualifications in law? Is there any specific qualification which you would look for in a applicant who in a law applicant who would like to join the hospitality industry? And then also, in addition to educational qualifications, do you also think that there are opportunities for young lawyers or law students to get some experience in the hospitality industry, like for an example, internships? Are there any internship opportunities in the hospitality industry? And specifically, does your company, Jetwing Hotels, do you all offer internship opportunities?
If I start with our company, we have internships called management trainees. So when you say management trainees, that will cover all the areas, not only administration, how the hotel runs, how it operates. They have to work at the hotel, you have to work at the corporate office, and all multidisciplinary, which we are looking. So actually, at the management trainee level, at the moment, we are not getting any up to now. Uh, we are not getting these any lawyers who are applying for these particular positions. There can be misunderstanding that they may be thinking that when we say management trainee, that we are looking only a hospitality industry qualification. That can be the misunderstanding. That is not the case. We want to have even a lawyer who is a law student or a lawyer who can work as a management trainee, who has multidisciplinary, and with that law qualification, he can join to the management of the particular hotel as a front, as a manager, as assistant manager, as a even as a general manager and all. So I am in the hospital industry, and I don't have a single qualification of the hospital industry requires. So in my profession, as I said, I'm a lawyer and accountant and all, but I am playing the role of the hospitality industry last 30 years. I don't have a single qualification on this hotel school or hotel this thing, or we don't require, because those are the people who provide services. So at an administrative level, we require an open mind, we require the right attitude, we require smiling people, work with the happy people who can work with the customers and take a decision. So that is what we are looking. So there's no, when we say that we recruit management trainees, even lawyers, if they come, we love to take young lawyers to that, and that they can work with basically it's a 2 years we are looking these people to work. Actually, there's a very good experience. They will get cross exposure of all the areas, and also uh, they can decide whether they like it or they don't like it or whatever. I am sure if they come and join, and when they experience it, it will be, they will love it to get. And also a lot of legal legal knowledge they can contribute to the company. That is with regard to our company. What is the other question you asked?
Like if there's a young law student or a young lawyer who is interested in joining the hospitality industry, do you
Yes,
recommend that they get any additional qualifications in addition to their LLB degree or their attorneys?
yes. Number one, if you have the right mindset and right attitude, actually for as far as hospitality industry is concerned, without any qualification, any other qualification, you can join the hospitality industry. That is number one. It is your right mindset and framework what is important for the hospitality industry. It is not rocket science. We are dealing with people, human beings. So therefore there's no special training. And as far as when we come, we all learned, we ourselves learned hospitality industry while working in the hospitality industry. So I think your first question is, you don't have any myths to say that you require any other qualification, special qualifications to join to hospitality industry. That is number one. If you is possible, for example, if you undergo certain hospitality trainings on, there's a hospitality school which they conduct 6 months courses, 3 months courses, 12 months courses, will be added advantage. Even if you do some accountancy or some kind of a additional qualification, employment law or something, that can give additional qualification for you to come to hospital. But there's no requirement for hospitality industry that you require these qualifications to enter. Actually, being an attorney at law is more than enough and is well respected, because hospital industry, as I said, at the moment very few lawyers. So that is why all the accountants and other professionals are running the lawyers jobs, and they sometimes mess up and they come out to me. So in other companies as well. So that is the different matter. But of course, if any person now multidisciplinary, even now, when 30 years back when I studied, I did multidisciplinary studies. So attorney at law is one, also with other accounting professions and all those I did. At that, I'm talking about 30 years ago. Now, after 30 years, I can see lot of university graduates, LLB graduates, even attorneys at laws, even at law college, who are doing are are doing now. For example, my son is a second year law college student at the law college, and he's doing his CIMA finals at the moment he's studying. So he's doing two things together. So I think so. This is the younger generation. He has lot of friends at a law college who is doing different degrees and also accounting qualifications with him. So I know, because I move with these children very much. So therefore, I think the new generation is little different to our 30 years ago old generation, which we did only law. So therefore, they are doing different additional courses starting from CIMA, CIM, HR courses. Even hospitality industry, they can do certain courses if they like, and all should go based on your liking. At the end of the day, you should be happy. No point doing anything what you do in life to get the happiness. So I think if you are happy to do that, I suggest you do different multidisciplinary. So the fact that I did multidisciplinary 30 years ago helped me at this my position at this point. And so I am the company secretary for about 18 companies. I am in 3 public quoted companies and about 21 private companies in the boards. So I think all these additions, 30 years, gave me that, and main reason for all the boards to accept me at this level, the main qualification is big attorney at law, which I have a distinct advantage to that. So I think when you young students, young children understands there's a potential, the value addition, the recognition you have in attorney at law qualification with the corporate law, I think they will be confident enough to join to the corporate sector, and there's a absolute potential. In addition to there will be a lawyer's part who will be practicing, that we all know, and all the lawyers 100% can't practice, but there's a hidden lot of opportunities available in the corporate law, where even some lawyers who try to go to practice, they struggle practicing, they don't have the ability and capacity to practice. We can't, everybody can't do everything. Only there are people who are specialized. So therefore, those very much opportunity in the corporate hospitality, because I am in the hospitality, I am speaking about hospitality. But when you look at my friends, uh, my children's friends, and all telecommunication, you name it, you have it in the corporate sector, and they are doing very well on those sectors and steady, including they have been provided with company maintained vehicles. At the moment, a practicing lawyer, you just imagine to buy a vehicle and pump petrol alone, how much of burden you're going to have. These companies providing all those things to you, your salary earnings after vehicle and given uh, fuel is given, all has been given, insurance has been fully covered for you by the company, all those things. Your earning is a basically very much only for expenses, because the major part is looked after by the company.
Certainly, sir. And my final question, as we are drawing to the end of this webinar, is now a lot of youngsters, a lot of uh, people who are entering the legal profession. They are also looking at the prospects of going abroad for their future employment. So they want to start off in Sri Lanka and then probably migrate abroad. So, yeah, with your experience in the hospitality industry, do you see an opportunity for a young lawyer who is starting off in the hospitality industry? Do you see opportunities for them abroad to work in maybe a multinational hospitality providing company, or hospitality companies in maybe Dubai or Australia, or any other country where they would like to migrate?
If any young lawyer who wants to go for migration, I think there's a big potential in the hospitality industry itself. So, example, we had now COVID time, and just after COVID time, we started losing a lot of our employees to all the foreign jobs which is coming up. Now, little bit slowed down last 6 months to 1 year, but before that, there's a major migration happening through the top level of the hospitality industry. Now, any lawyer who has, if they have worked in a hospitality industry, acceptable brand, known to those countries, when you go for the interviews, you have a distinct advantage. For example, if you are a lawyer, in addition to the law qualification, if you are working at a executive level at a company, at a hospitality industry, because especially we have seen that in Australia and New Zealand, where Sri Lankan hospitality senior managers have been given a lot of opportunities, and they have a lot of people migrated to those people in the last 1 year ago. Last 6 months, I can see there's a reduction, and maybe that reduction also more than that migration. A lot of Sri Lankan opportunities are coming in the hospital industry. The tourism is doing very well, so people also who are here, I think now can like to work, continue with hospitality industry, tourism industry in Sri Lanka. But if anybody wants to, I think if they have to work, if they join in a hospitality industry, a good brand, if they work as a risk compliance officer, again, one thing which I couldn't cover is compliance is becoming a more and more requirement in all the companies, where again, non-lawyers are adopting these compliance things. So you can look after compliance, risk, and all those areas. Legal and foreign exposure risk are very much in the tourism industry. And if you play a key role on those areas, being a lawyer, you are going also will be a added advantage. All those individuals who like to migrate. So therefore, if they join to non-hospitality industry, as I said earlier, a brand which can be internationally recognized and also locally one of the top class brands, they all foreign companies know very much easy. For example, that is one reason, not the lawyers, other areas, the people whom, when they say they are coming from our companies, those foreign companies immediately absorb them. So if any lawyer who works about 2 to 3 years in a hospitality industry in a good brand, if they have the migration thing, they come with a management trainee level, manager level in a hospitality industry, multidisciplinary, will definitely give a added advantage. One thing is they get a credibility visa obtaining, working in this company with the visa officers when they know that they are given the character certificate which we give really accepts, and everybody who worked us asking for that letter because visa officers are asking from that because the reputation we have with those relevant countries. They know that they know that we are a special brand in Sri Lanka, and when we give in our letterhead, that is acceptable, and the employees who has migrated has not put them down. So I think there's a value addition to different hospitality brands who wants to migrate.
Certainly, sir. And with that question, we would like to conclude today's webinar. And we would like to once again thank Mr. Sanjeev Anthony, the Executive Director of Jetwing Hotels, for taking time off his busy schedule on a Saturday evening to be with us in this webinar. Then I would like to hand over the floor to Isuri to give the concluding remarks.
Yeah, once again, before that, Isuri, thank you very much, Shehara and Isuri, your hard work and all what you are doing, excellent thing. And I'm extremely thankful to the Bar Association, including our president, Rajiva, for this initiative and this connectivity. I think the more and more young lawyers will come to know the opportunities they have, and a lot of lawyers are coming out, and we also can help them to take up their career. And anyway, when we have worked so long, I think that now young lawyers needs to take our positions going forward. So we would love to help them, Shehara and Ispi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Shehara. This brings us to the end of episode 3 of the webinar series on why corporate sector. I thank our esteemed guest, Mr. Sanjeev Anthony, and our interviewer, Mr. Shehara Herath, for the fruitful and educational discussion and for dedicating your time to be here with us and sharing your insights. I thank the Bar Association of Sri Lanka's Webinars and Legal Symposiums Committee for their dedication and hard work in organizing this insightful webinar. And last but not least, I thank all of you who have joined in for this session today through various platforms. Thank you, and I hope you all have a good night.
Night.